Olaedo was a beautiful orphan from Annam. Her parents died the same day at different occasions. Her mother was lying critically sick with asthmatic attack. Her father rushed out to buy drugs for her mother, but never returned home alive. Her mother too didn't make it from the attack and died with her pregnancy. Olaedo was only a child of 8 years when her life crumbled. She was the only child of her parents. She has to live with her father's only sister, Nkiru, who stays in the city with her family. She was subjected to maltreatment and malnourishment, but as a little girl who has nowhere to go, endured all the torture. You dirty good-for-nothing witch, only sleeping from dusk to dawn. That is her everyday alarm as her aunt kicks her with her insults. Nkiru, her aunt, has 4 children who were almost her age, but she was made to bathe them, wash their clothes and feed them. They go to expensive schools, but Olaedo stays at home or hawks food around. When she was 17, she couldn't endure the torture again, as her aunt's husband had tried severally to rape her. She went back to her father's hut, which was already old and leaking. Everyone in the village termed her a curse, as her aunt and her husband accused Olaedo of stealing from them and trying to molest their children. Parents even advised their children never to play with her or have anything to do with her. Olaedo continued selling foodstuffs, which she started planting most of them in her father's farm. As everyone has called her a witch, Olaedo never bothered selling in her village market. She normally goes to 2 markets away to sell her goods because she knows nobody will want to buy from her. One day, a man bought some things from her neighbor's shop. He wanted to bring out some money from his pocket, but mistakenly dropped his wallet. Olaedo picked up the wallet and began searching for the owner of the wallet. Olaedo opened it and found a huge sum of money in it. She also saw a paper that has a name and address on it. Inside the wallet was also the passport photos of the wallet owner. Till the wallet was returned after 2 months, Olaedo never took out a dime from the wallet. She always goes to the market with the wallet in case the owner comes around. After about a week of waiting for the owner of the wallet to come around, Olaedo took out the paper and realized the address there was nowhere around the village. One day, as she was going home after the day's sales, Olaedo ran into a familiar face. "Excuse me, sir," she said. "I think I've met you somewhere. Did you lose your wallet some months ago?" "Yes," Ihanacho replied. "I can't remember where I lost it, but it was a blue wallet with a white little stripes." "Exactly!" Olaedo exclaimed. "Finally, I have found the owner," she said as she handed over the wallet to Ihanacho, who collected it happily, opened it, counted the money, and shouted surprisingly, "You're a rare gem. You left the money exactly the way it was for all these months? Thanks for the compliment. I was waiting to be contented and return what is not mine, sir," Olaedo replied. Ihanacho shared the money into halves and gave a part to Olaedo, who rejected the offer. "If that is the case, I will employ you to work as my cashier in the city," Ihanacho said. Olaedo, though happy, but replied, bowing her head in shame, "I am not educated, sir, so I'm not qualified for the position." "Don't worry, I will teach you all you need to learn," Ihanacho persisted. After 2 weeks, Olaedo went to the city with Ihanacho. She was happy that at least she doesn't have to stay alone and prayed that the city would be kind to her this time. Ihanacho's business grew tremendously with Olaedo's sincerity and hard work. Ihanacho fell in love with Olaedo and decided to marry her. Ihanacho was born into an average home but became wealthy due to Olaedo's commitment. They acquired many properties and cars. Though despised by her in-laws, Olaedo was happy because her husband cherished her very much. As Olaedo was about to relax after 2 years of marriage, that the God has finally blessed her, tragedy struck. Her husband slept in his shop and died in the hospital after some days. Olaedo's world became shattered again. She began asking the girls if she was actually a witch. Her in-laws made her homeless barely 3 months of mourning her husband. Not having a place to go, Olaedo slept in uncompleted houses. She fell sick and could barely feed or take care of herself. One day, as she was wandering, searching for what to eat, she fainted in front of a woman's shop, Amanda. Amanda quickly rushed her to the hospital and got her some fruits. "You are 3 months pregnant," the doctor told Olaedo, who has regained consciousness. "What?" she exclaimed in tears. "I wish my husband was alive. He would have been very happy with this news. We both waited for it." Amanda consoled her, wishing the news was for her, as she has been married for 10 years without a child. "I'll take care of you till your child is born," Amanda promised. After the completion of the pregnancy term, Olaedo gave birth to a strangely bettered baby, Nonso, who was born holding firmly a golden scepter. "What type of child is this that is born with a golden scepter?" Olaedo could hear one of the nurses asking, and amazed. "How he will be a great king," the other nurse replied. Olaedo sent a message about her baby to her in-laws, but they rejected the baby and accused her of being unfaithful to their brother when he was alive. "We cannot father an illegitimate child," Ijeoma and her mother accused. "We are not naive to be fooled by you." Amanda was the only one who helped Olaedo to take care of her child. After 3 years, Amanda gave birth to a baby girl and subsequently to other children. She was very happy and continued to raise Nonso like her child. Olaedo never told anyone about the scepter, as she was afraid that the rejection she suffered might also affect her son. As Nonso grew older, his scepter grows. He began to exhibit extraordinary abilities. He could heal the sick, bring prosperity to those around him, and even calm the most turbulent of storms. As Nonso grew, the golden scepter he was born with became a symbol of something much greater than Olaedo could have ever imagined. Though she kept it hidden, she often caught glimpses of its mysterious power whenever Nonso was there. The scepter would emit a soft warm glow, and strange fortunate events would happen around them. Despite her attempt to shield her son from the world, whispers about the strange child began to spread. One day, a wise old man approached Olaedo and revealed a shocking truth. "Your son, Nonso, is the chosen one," he said. "The golden scepter is a symbol of his royal lineage, and he is destined to rule over a great kingdom." Olaedo was stunned on how the old man knew about the scepter. "Which golden scepter?" Amanda asked, surprised. Olaedo had no choice but to tell her everything about the scepter. Amanda, who had grown to love Nonso like her own son, was overjoyed. "This is a blessing from God," she exclaimed. As Nonso grew in wisdom and power, he began to fulfill his destiny. He brought peace and prosperity to the land, and people from far and wide came to seek his counsel. Back in Nonso's village in Baji, King Obinna, from a power-hungry family of ruthless kings who crowned themselves for more than 30 years and ruled with an iron fist, led the people into fury and distraught. King Obinna and his generations has taxed them heavily, forced them into labor, and crushed any opposition. The people suffered under their rule, and they longed for a savior. After many years of prayers and sacrifices, the gods of the land, vindication, found them. He is near but far, born with a golden scepter. His name is Nonso, the son of Inhanacho, the chief priest said. The elders began a search for Nonso, not being sure of the Inhanacho they were looking for. Meanwhile, Olaedo had a vivid dream when Nonso was 12. In the dream, an old wise man appeared to her and said, "Olaedo, it is time to return to your father's home with your son. The kingdom is in search of him." Olaedo was confused and asked, "What kingdom? What are you talking about?" The old wise man replied, "Nonso is the rightful heir to the throne of his ancestors. His kingdom has been waiting for him, and now is the time for him to claim his rightful place." Olaedo was skeptical, but the old wise man's words struck a chord in her heart. She remembered the golden scepter and the strange circumstances of Nonso's birth. She decided to take the old man's words seriously and began to make preparations to return to her father's home with Nonso. As they journeyed back, Olaedo told Nonso about the dream and the old man's words. Nonso was intrigued and felt an inexplicable pull towards his ancestral home. In the village where Olaedo was once scorned, people started noticing that their crops flourished when Nonso was around. The barren land of their little farm turned lush, and even the sick began to recover after brief encounters with Nonso. Amanda, the supportive friend, believed that indeed Nonso was no ordinary child. She pleaded with Olaedo to embrace the boy's gift, but Olaedo remained fearful. One day, a severe drought hit the region. Crops withered, rivers dried up, and the villagers were on the brink of despair. Seeing the suffering around her, Olaedo could no longer keep her son hidden. With Amanda by her side, she took Nonso to the village elders. She revealed the scepter to them and explained how her son's mere presence had brought life to their small farm. The elders, though skeptical, were desperate and agreed to let Nonso try to help. They took Nonso to the village's largest field, now barren and cracked. The boy, holding his scepter, stood quietly at the center. The villagers gathered around, watching in silence. As a soft wind began to blow, the scepter glowed brighter than ever, and to everyone's amazement, the earth beneath their feet started to tremble. Within moments, the sky darkened, and rain began to pour, drenching the land. The villagers watched in awe as their fields drank in water, and within days, the crops began to grow again, healthier and more bountiful than ever before. News of the miracle spread beyond the village, reaching the ears of kings and noblemen. Many came from far and wide to see the boy with the golden scepter. Some sought his blessings, while others tried to take him away, seeing only the power he possessed. But Olaedo, with the help of Amanda, protected her son fiercely. They knew that Nonso's gift was not something to be exploited, but to be cherished and used wisely. Years passed, and Nonso grew into a wise and compassionate young man. He used his gift to help the less fortunate, always guided by the love and teachings of his mother. Despite the hardships Olaedo endured, she found peace in knowing that her son was destined for greatness. The scepter, once a symbol of her fears, became a beacon of hope for all who knew them. Eventually, Nonso's fame grew so widespread that even his mother's in-law could not ignore it. The same people who had once rejected and scorned Olaedo now sought her out, begging for forgiveness and asking to be part of Nonso's life. But Olaedo, with the wisdom gained from years of suffering, knew better than to trust them. She remained humble, allowing Nonso to decide his own part. Nonso, understanding the pain his mother had endured, chose to forgive but not forget. He helped those in need, even those who had wronged his mother, but he kept his distance from those who sought to use him for their own gain. His father's village, Mbaji, already in ruins, heard about Nonso's return, and his golden scepter thanked the gods. The elders went as the gods of the land had instructed to apologize and plead for their return to his father's house. When they arrived, they were met with a grand reception. The elders of the kingdom revealed that Nonso was indeed the rightful heir to the throne, and that his ancestors, who had been waiting for him, are happy with his decisions. By God's grace and with guidance from our ancestors, I will make Mbaji great again, Nonso promised after he was crowned the new king on Eke Market Day. As Nonso settled into his new role as king, he began to think about his personal life. He had always been grateful to Amanda, who had been like a mother to him and had helped his own mother, Olaedo, in times of need. One day, he realized that his feelings for Amanda's daughter Uloma, who had grown into a beautiful and kind-hearted young woman, went beyond gratitude. He fell deeply in love with her and decided to make her his queen. The wedding was a grand affair, with the whole kingdom in attendance. Olaedo was overjoyed to see her son happy, and Amanda was proud to see her daughter married to the king. Nonso and his queen ruled the kingdom together, bringing peace and prosperity to their people. They had children of their own, and the golden scepter was passed down to the next generation. Under his rule, the village prospered once more. The people were happy and content, and Nonso's golden scepter became a symbol of hope and freedom. Olaedo, who had once been rejected and mistreated, was now revered as the mother of the king. She lived out the rest of her days in joy and contentment, knowing that her son was fulfilling his purpose. Olaedo lived out the rest of her days in happiness, surrounded by her loved ones. She knew that her son was exactly where he was meant to be, and that she had played a part in his journey to the throne. And so, the story of Olaedo and Nonso came full circle, a testament to the power of faith, perseverance, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Thank you once again for taking your time to listen to another beautiful and enchanting stories from Twice Sweet African Folktales. Do have a great day. Bye.